Hello everyone, I'm Alfian and today we are going to solve the Hackerrank called the contact form challenge. And for the challenge, we create a simple React application called the contact form that collects user information and displays it below the form upon submission. These tasks will help you practice handling form inputs, validation, and conditional rendering in React. And for the detailed requirement, the form structure has the name, email, and message text area. And the form submission, there should be a submit button to submit the form. And then for this form validation, that validate that none of the fields are empty. And if any field is empty, then we display an error message. And for the displaying submitted data, the submission form will be displayed below the contact form right here. And then the condition that it should clear the input fields after a successful submission. And for the initial state, it's displayed with all of the empty field right here. And then for the submitted information, it will be empty on the initial state of the application. So this is the user action 1, and this for the test case. And let's move from the project files introduction to the app.js. And as we can see, there are many states variable right here. And then the submitted data is null. This one is for the submitted data that will render below the contact form. And then this is the error message, and this is the main handle submit with the e.prevent default to prevent page reloading. And this is the to do, and this is the hint. And we can get the idea from here, from these hints. And this is the navbar tag for the custom Hackerrank as usual. And this is the heading 1 of the custom of the contact form, sorry. And this is the form name, email, and message of the input inside the form tag. And then for the unsubmit, this unsubmit button will trigger right here on the unsubmit attribute. And the name has the value and also the onChange attribute, that the set name will trigger the name variable will change after every change right here on the name. So let's say if we type J, then the name variable will also storing J string. And it's the database ID. And for the email, also the same for the text area. And for the submit button, it's inside the form, still inside the form tag. And this is the error with a double ampersand operator. So if this error is truthy value or has and doesn't have any, truthy is one that doesn't have any zero, null, undefined, or empty string, or not a number or anything that JavaScript falsy values. If it's not falsy, or if it's truthy or anything that is inside the error is considered truthy value. And this part after the double ampersand will render right here, will validate. And then the p tag will be rendered with the database ID, and then the error message will shows up. And for the submitted data, and it also has the same behavior as the error. If it has the value, then the React application will render the submitted data from right here to this closing brackets right here. And it's the message. The submitted data takes the message. So we are going to store the submitted data value in a form of object called the name property and email property and the message property. All of them will have the string data type. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And for this, add logic to validate inputs and display submitted data. We set error function using if the either name or email or message, name, email or message state is falsy value or has the length of just falsy value for now. If it is, if the name is empty, email is empty string, and message variable is empty, and either of them is falsy value with the exclamation mark right in front of them. If it is, then we can use the set error. Let's write field cannot be empty. Let's run this. We may want to separate the name, email and message. I think all fields are required. This is the error message. All fields are required. So let's remove this. It's not name or email. If the message is false, we can simply return. Let's use set submitted data and then passing the name property, and the name property will take the name and the email property will take the email variable from the state, and then the message property will take the message property. So the variable right here as in the form of object, and the set error after we pressing the handle submit. Set error will be empty for the initial trigger, and then for the set submitted is equal to null. We directly muted the object as the null without the previous. So let's run the test. Okay, so for the set submitted data, it's passing. Let's test it out with the submit, and the submitted information, because we are surpassing this empty check, and then we're passing the if check and everything pass, and then this will trigger. So let's take an empty message and submit. All fields are required. So it will return prematurely because the message field is empty, and then the set submitted data is null, and the set error is empty for the false initialization. Clears input field after successful submission. So after successful submission, then we can clear everything. Set name to empty, and then set email to empty, and then set message. You might be wondering why I'm directly using an empty string instead of using the previous value. It's because in our form we don't have to utilize the previous value of, let's say if we have test right here, we don't have to use test, but instead we directly return an empty string because we are tasked to clear the input directly without utilizing this test. So let's submit. All fields are required. So let's empty this from the start. Let's pass it. somehow the site name is not going to empty the form right here. It's still all fields are required. Let's reload this. Test. Yep, all fields are required. Test admin and this. Okay, so all of the input fields are cleared. So let's run this. Okay, so one more thing. The displays error message when fields are empty and submit is click at submit without pressing anything. All fields are required. So let's move the set error. Only run if all of the empty form fields already passed. Let's run this. All fields are required using the dot after it. Okay, so it's only a dot. All fields are required with the dot sign. I forgot to include the dot. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you understand this video. I'm glad that you follow all the way through of this tutorial. Okay, so if you have any questions or if you have any better solutions, you can write in the comment section. I hope you have a great day and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.